hadith. The universe is hadith. It came into existence. It didn't exist and now it exists. And even our material sciences indicate that. But the proof for that is that it's made up of jawahir and a'rad. It's got these accidents. The accidents are changing, and so they don't have permanence. Things are coming into existence, going out of existence. We weren't here all the time. Where did we come from? We came into existence. So we're hadith. I'm muhdath. There's asbab for my existence. So my parents existed before me. They met, fell in love, got married, thank God, had children, right? And I'm one of them. And I know them. I know both my parents. And I know both their parents. I know who they were. And I know their grandparents. I can go back to about 1760s, not very long. There's people in here go back, 2,000 years. Right? Some of the Sada that have shajara. Alhamdulillah. So, but at a certain, I cannot believe, if I have any intelligence whatsoever, that this was going on infinitely. That's impossible to believe. To conceive that there is infinite regress. And I could prove that logically because you cannot have an actual infinity. You can't have an infinity that goes one way and doesn't go the other way. Does that make sense? It can't make sense. If it does make sense, then you're not thinking straight. So here we are, I've got 5 children, but they don't have any children yet. So I know that my line stops with those children. I cannot believe that I go back infinitely because you can't have infinity one way. It doesn't work that way. It's either infinite or it's not. So once I determine that I came into existence, where did I come from? Well, it was this slimy water and lightning hit it and the first cells began, right? I mean, this is what they say, and they've got their attempts at trying to, but that's their explanation. For me, it just doesn't make sense. This thing just seems like it's too complicated. I just can't believe it. I can't believe the order of the solar system it all just fell into place just by coincidence. Just the earth just happened to be exactly the right. If it was a little bit closer to the sun or a little bit further, it couldn't be life. We're the Goldilocks syndrome. It's just right. Coincidence. The Quran says, He has subjugated everything in the heavens and the earth, the strong anthropic principle. That the whole thing, there's a very strong argument, that this whole universe is necessary for us here in this tiny little corner of this massive galactic, incredible cosmic event that we're in, that all of it is necessary for life to exist on earth, and it's actually almost impossible for there to be life in other parts of the number of perfect things which would have had to come together for life to exist on our planet. There's people who say, no, there's billions of galaxies out there, so there must be life on other. Maybe there is, but statistically, it's improbable. A statistician that will tell you the truth will admit that it's highly improbable because life here is just so improbable that there should be life on earth. So for us, you can make these arguments, and we have many scholars that have given very strong demonstrative proofs. But if you reject the premises, I reject that premise that the universe is created. Even though it's no longer popular, I prefer Fred Hoyle's steady state theory, that it's always been around. Or I prefer the ancient Greeks, that the universe always existed. The evidence is against you. Well, I still think, this is just a theory. Another one's going to come along. So he doesn't accept the premise. You can't argue with him if they don't accept the premise. No matter how much proof you have for it, if he just flat out rejects it, if he doesn't have proof to break down your proof, then he's mu'anid. Or he can just take the agnostic route or the skeptic's route. Skeptic, most nominalists are skeptics because they say it's all in your head and there's no objective truth, and all these categories in your head are just projecting onto the world these things, and so I don't trust knowledge, even scientific knowledge. It's just, it appears that way. This is the way they argue. So, you can't argue with people like that. And then so demonstrative proof is deductive. Everything had a beginning. That's a deductive, that's a universal statement. Everything had a beginning. And you intuit that. That's something that you abstract, but it's something you intuit about things. Everything had a beginning. And then